Hello everybody, welcome to Enreason, the daily current affairs session by Team Enlight. Today, we'll be going over the following 4 topics. The first topic for the day is Indo-US trade and climate relations, which is based on an article published in the Hindu today. So the article stresses that the strategic partnership between India and USA cannot be simply based on a negative agenda of facing the China crisis for India in the neighborhood, especially the border problem, and for USA globally. So it focuses on trade as well as climate. So first we'll go over the trade. So what needs to be done is that we have to prioritize the bilateral trade relationship by rechartering the trade policy forum, which is a forum which consists of representatives from India as well as USA to discuss and deliberate on the trade issues. Secondly, USA is the second largest trade partner after China, and with USA we have a trade surplus, which is also important and which was criticized by the previous US administration of that of previous President Trump. Our services exports, mostly IT, goes to USA, as well as we have a lot of FDI, foreign direct investment coming into India from USA. Now, what are the issues concerning trade? First is the failure of US and India to articulate a shared vision for comprehensive trade relationship. We don't have a free trade agreement. There was a talk of finalizing a mini trade deal, even that has not materialized so far due to various issues which we will see, which one of which is the protectionist tendencies in both USA and India, which gives rise to high tariffs for imports. Another issue has been that USA's generalized system of preferences, which gave some preferences to developing countries like India in terms of exports of India, that has been discontinued by the previous Trump administration and it has been continued by the present Biden administration. And there has been various sanitary and phytosanitary barriers, both with respect to USA as well as India. Another important issue has been that of intellectual property. India has remained on the priority watch list of USA's 2020's Special 301 report, which says that India's intellectual property regime has not been up to the global standards. Other issues has been that India has come out of RCEP and there has been various issues in WTO between India and USA, the most famous of which has been the solar cell domestic requirements issue. There is no need to go deep into it. These points can be mentioned if a question is being asked on Indo-US relationship in the GS2 paper in the international relations section. Next is regarding climate. In climate, what the article mentions is that the US Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, John Kerry, had visited India twice already, and we are collaborating through various mechanisms like the Climate and Clean Energy Agenda Partnership, the US-India Energy Dialogue, as well as SPACE Partnership to advance clean energy for innovation as well as research and development of clean energy technologies. Now, what are the issues in the climate arena? First of which is the possibility of carbon border adjustment mechanisms. This was a mechanism which is introduced by the European Union initially, which says that certain products which has high carbon footprint or which causes environmental pollution will be subjected to high tariffs or some restrictions as imports into the country. And there has been the perennial issue of climate finance, where India has stressed that developed countries like USA should contribute more towards environmental conservation based on historical responsibility, that USA has been the polluter for so long, so they have additional responsibility of contributing towards environmental conservation compared to other developing as well as least developing countries. The syllabus linkage has been given here. Moving on, this is the article which we have mentioned. So the next topic is revised PCA. So what is PCA? It is Prompt Corrective Action Framework, which is a framework given by the RBI, our regulatory and monetary body, which was introduced in 2002, which was along the lines of a similar framework in USA. And RBI may impose PCA on any commercial bank, not cooperative bank, a commercial bank, during the course of a year, any time that RBI wishes, based on certain parameters. So why it was in news is that what happens with what happens with PCA? Once a bank is under PCA, there are some restrictions imposed by the RBI, which is the second point mentioned, there are certain curbs on high risk lending. That is, the bank cannot lend large loans, as well as the bank will need to set aside more money on provisions. Provisions meaning that they will have to based on whatever loans has been given, they will have to set aside certain portions from their revenue, so that as a risk prevention strategy, and there will be some restrictions on management salary. Next, we'll see why it was in news. RBI unveils revised PCA framework. The indicators which will be tracked from now on for capital, asset quality as well as leverage would be common equity tier 1 ratio, net NPA ratio as well as tier 1 leverage ratio. So they have removed one particular indicator, which is return on assets indicator, which was based on profitability. So from now on, please remember that for looking at the capital, there is the indicator which is common equity tier 1 ratio, asset quality which is net NPA ratio, and for leverage it is tier 1 leverage ratio. Moving on, the next topic is Ayushman CAPF scheme. So it was in news because our Home Minister has rolled out the scheme at a pan-India level. So what is the scheme? So it is, first of all, by which ministry? It is by Home Ministry, and that's why the Home Minister has unveiled the scheme, and it is a joint initiative by Home Ministry as well as National Health Authority. It aims to provide cashless and paperless medical treatment at empaneled hospitals across the country to CAPF personnel as well as the dependents. So the scheme will be available by December end, and it will cover pan India as well as it will cover all the CAPF personnels. So as a part of the pan India rollout of the scheme, health cards will be distributed to more than 35 lakh beneficiaries across various CAPFs, serving force personnel and as well as their family members. So this paperless as well as cashless treatment will be carried out through Ayushman Bharat PM JAY IT platform. So PM JAY is PM Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. So about the scheme was first launched by the Union Home Minister Amit Shah in only Assam in January this year, but now it has been unveiled for at a pan-India level. An important thing to note is all Central Armed Police Forces officials and the serving personnel and their dependents from all the forces are eligible to be or to avail healthcare treatment under this scheme. So there will be a 24/7 call center, online grievance management system, fraud and abuse control system, and real-time monitoring dashboards. These are general statements. So it is possible that a question comes up in prelims regarding this scheme, giving maybe say 3 statements and asking whether which of these statements are correct or incorrect. So beneficiaries, the last 2 points is not that important, but then it shows how the beneficiary can collect the Ayushman CAPF e-card based on which medical treatment can be availed. So moving on, so this was the article based on which this topic was taken. So then the next topic or the last topic is climate change jargons. So COP26, Conference of Parties 26, has been happening at Glasgow recently, and there has been various news articles based on that. But today we will see some terms just to clarify what that term means. So the first term for today is mitigation. So what is mitigation? It is a human intervention to reduce emissions or enhance the sinks of greenhouse gases. So if a statement comes up like mitigation is the human intervention to enhance the sources of greenhouse gases, it is a wrong statement. It is to enhance the sinks of greenhouse gases. Sinks meaning through which we absorb greenhouse gases rather than producing greenhouse gases. So mitigation is simply reducing the emissions, or you can simply remember that it means that we are reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. So some possible ways which you can envisage is that the solar promote renewable energy so that we use less of fossil fuels, which are the main reason for emission of greenhouse gases. So it is possible a question comes up that which of the following are mitigation methods, and the UPSC asks maybe 3 or 4 examples which are given here in the second point of mitigation topic. So mitigation term. So the next term is adaptation. So adaptation is making changes to live with impacts of climate change. It means that climate change has various effects like increased sea water flooding, especially in coastal regions. So one example can be constructing sea walls so that we can protect against the floods or the increased sea water level rise. So the next term is carbon neutral. You would have seen and read that India, our Prime Minister has announced that India will achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2070, or will turn carbon neutral by 2070. It means that the anthropogenic CO2 emissions, anthropogenic means human induced activities, CO2 emissions are balanced globally by anthropogenic carbon dioxide removals. So at a national level, it means that anthropogenic CO2 emissions are balanced nationally by anthropogenic carbon dioxide removals. Whatever we are emitting, we are able to remove that particular carbon dioxide as well. So it is also referred to as net zero carbon dioxide emission. So the next is, what is the term COP? COP stands for Conference of the Parties. It is in news, especially in context of UNFCCC, which is UN Framework Convention on Climate Change. So it is a supreme decision-making body of the convention, and all states are parties to the convention, and they send their own representatives to the Conference of Parties to discuss and deliberate on what are the steps, what steps should be taken for mitigating and adapting to climate change. So this is a common term. It can refer to other international conventions as well. So another term has been the tipping point. As the name itself suggests, it is a situation where we cannot return to the initial state. The state has changed so much so that it is not possible to return back to the initial state. For example, the glacier melting, as mentioned in the recent IPCC report, 6th assessment report, it was mentioned that the glacier melting has been so much so that we have reached the tipping point. That is, the glacier has melted so much so that we can return back that glacier to its initial state. Another term has been the Paris Rule Book. It is a rule book or set of rules regarding how countries collect and report their greenhouse gas emissions. So carbon sinks, we have already discussed that carbon sink is anything which absorbs more carbon than it releases. For example, plants, oceans, soil, like the plants itself in the soil is a good carbon sink because it absorbs more carbon than it releases. So similarly, carbon source is something that which releases more carbon than it absorbs. So that's all for today's and recent session. Thank you all. So meet again tomorrow.